Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Andrea and today I'm gonna take you to Sri Lanka. I have prepared two recipes for you this time. One can be eaten veg or non-veg, it's your choice, and the other one is gonna be a super delicious dessert. So before we get started, of course, I'm gonna give you some cultural background regarding Sri Lankan cuisine. So let's get started. Rice is a staple together with the coconut, which is very abundant. That means that it's present in most of their dishes too. Since we're talking about a coastal country, more like an island I would say, that means that there's plenty of seafood there, so you will see that fish is present in a lot of their dishes, or shrimps or anything related to seafood. Sri Lanka was historically famous for its cinnamon and its tea. Most probably you have heard about Ceylon cinnamon and Ceylon tea, which are most probably famous all around the world. So the thing with Ceylon is the fact that this was the name given by the British people when they came to Sri Lanka and they invaded Sri Lanka. And Ceylon is derived from the Portuguese name that Portuguese people have given to Sri Lanka when they first came to Sri Lanka, which is Ceylon. So now that we're done with the cultural information, I would suggest let's go ahead and get started with the cooking. So we're gonna prepare something called as Lamprais. This is the kind of dish that you can prepare veg or non-veg as well, as I said in the very first beginning. So Lamprais is a dish which was brought by the Dutch colonists to Sri Lanka the moment they invaded Sri Lanka, and it consists of 6 or 7 dishes, mini dishes I would say. So you just have a little bit of each and every dish. So we're gonna prepare some rice. It's called as ghee rice, which is extremely delicious, and it's cooked in chicken stock. You can choose vegetable stock as well, that's fine if you are a vegetarian. Then we're gonna make some tuna cutlets, which are super delicious. Those are those Dutch frikadellen, if you know what I'm talking about. So it's that kind of dish. Then we're gonna prepare some eggplant dish, which is spicy, very spicy, but if you don't like it spicy, you can remove the chili, that's fine. And then we're gonna prepare some onion relish, which is super tasty and super delicious. And then we're gonna have the meat curry, which is actually a chicken curry, but traditionally it consists of 3 types of meat, but that would be too much and too elaborate, so I just decided to keep it to reduce it to a chicken curry. So those are gonna be our dishes. Traditionally they add fried ash plantains, but plantains are not available everywhere in the world, so we're not gonna add those. You can substitute if you want with sweet potato, and traditionally they add some hard boiled eggs, which are then deep fried. But since I'm not really a big fan of deep fried things, I just didn't add it, but it's your choice if you want to add it or not. So let's get started with the cooking. And if you want to find out more information and cultural information regarding this dish, you can check out my Instagram as well, because there I give the descriptions, more elaborate descriptions regarding the history of the dishes and so on. So let's get started. We're gonna start with the chicken curry. So for this we're gonna need 2 chicken wings, 2 chicken thighs, and 2 chicken drumsticks. So everything has to have bone. And here I have the spices: 1 teaspoon of red chili powder, 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder, a pinch of black pepper, and 1 tablespoon of coriander powder, and 1 tablespoon of curry powder. You can use any curry powder. They usually use Sri Lankan curry powder, but since that's not available everywhere, you can use whatever you want. I have used Indian curry powder. 1 big onion, finely chopped, and here I have the whole spices: 1 dried red chili, a couple of cardamom pods, a couple of cloves, and 2 cinnamon sticks, 1 teaspoon of ginger garlic paste, and here I have a piece of tamarind, which I have soaked in hot water, a little bit of hot water, and some vinegar, 1 teaspoon of vinegar. I'm gonna start by marinating the chicken. I'm gonna add the spices, the ginger garlic paste, and the tamarind and the vinegar. and of course some salt as per your taste. Mix everything well and let it marinate for at least 1 hour. I'm gonna add all the whole spices into a hot pan in which I have added 1 tablespoon of oil. Then I'm gonna add the chopped onion and I'm gonna let everything cook for about 5 minutes together with a little bit of salt or until the onion is translucent. So after 5 minutes it looks like this. Now's the time to add the chicken, and then we're gonna let everything cook for 30 minutes approximately, or until the chicken is completely cooked. So after 30 minutes my chicken is ready, it's super tender, it's completely cooked, and I'm just gonna set it aside because now we're gonna prepare the other dishes. So now we're gonna prepare the onion relish, and for this we're gonna need 1 big onion finely sliced. Here I have 1 teaspoon of red chili powder, 1 cardamom pod, and 2 cinnamon sticks. And here I have a small piece of tamarind which I have soaked in 2-3 tablespoons of hot water. And here I have 1 tablespoon of dry curry leaves which have been soaked in hot water. I'm going to start by adding the chili, cinnamon, and cardamom to the onion, and I'm going to mix everything well. I'm going to coat it with the chili powder, and in a pan I'm going to heat 2 to 3 tablespoons of oil. I'm going to add some salt, and I'm going to add the curry leaves, and I'm going to let them cook for 1 minute or until they splutter. Make sure you add the salt so that you won't hurt yourself with the hot oil. Then I'm gonna add the onion and I'm gonna let everything cook until nice and caramelized. That will take about 10 minutes. So after 10 minutes it looks like this. And at the end I'm gonna add the tamarind. And I'm gonna mix everything well and it's gonna be ready. So now we're gonna prepare the Brinjal moju, the eggplant dish. So for this we're gonna need half an eggplant cubed, half an onion finely chopped, 2 green chilies cut lengthwise, 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder, 1 teaspoon of red chili powder, and 1 teaspoon of mustard. I'm going to start by sauteing the eggplant together with 1 tablespoon of olive oil in a pan. After 5 minutes they look like this, so this is the moment to take them out. And we're gonna add another teaspoon or tablespoon of oil, and we're gonna saute the onion. We're gonna add a little bit of salt. We're gonna let everything cook for about 4 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes. After 3 to 4 minutes, add the chili, mix everything well. And then we're gonna add the turmeric and the chili powder, mix everything well. And at the end we're gonna add the eggplant which we have already cooked. Traditionally they deep fry it, but I don't like deep fried stuff, so I just sauteed it. And at the very end I'm gonna add the 1 teaspoon of mustard. Mix everything well and now it's ready. For the tuna cutlets we're gonna need 100 grams of panko breadcrumbs, 1 can of tuna chunks, 1 small onion finely chopped, 1 whole chili small finely chopped, 2 small potatoes boiled and mashed. Here I have the spices, 1/4 of a teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder, and 1 teaspoon of chili powder, 2 garlic cloves finely chopped. And here I have a batter. So I have mixed 1 egg together with 2 to 3 tablespoons of water and 1 tablespoon of flour. Mix everything well until you get this batter. So now I'm gonna start adding all the ingredients in a bowl except the batter and the panko grams. Mix everything well. This is gonna be our tuna mixture. So now we're gonna start forming the cutlets. I'm gonna take 1 tablespoon of the tuna mixture. Then I'm gonna coat it with the batter, and then I'm gonna coat it with the breadcrumbs. Do the same for all the remaining ones. So my cutlets are ready to be cooked. You can deep fry them. Traditionally, this is what they do. You can cook them in the air fryer, or you can just bake them just like I did. The final dish is the ghee rice that we're gonna prepare now. So for this, we're gonna need half a cup of long grain basmati rice, which has been soaked for 30 minutes and washed and drained. 1 onion finely chopped, 1 tablespoon of ghee, a couple of spring onions finely chopped, 2 tablespoons of cashews for garnishing, 1 tablespoon of chicken stock powder. You can use 1 cube, that's fine. And here I have the spices, 1 cinnamon stick, 1 cardamom pod, and a few cloves. I'm gonna start by adding the ghee to a pan, then I'm gonna add the spices, the whole spices. I'm gonna cook them for about 1 minute. And then I'm gonna add the onion, and I'm gonna let everything cook together with a little bit of salt until the onion becomes translucent. After 5 minutes it looks like this. Now's the time to add the chicken stock. And now I'm gonna add the rice as well. Mix everything well. And now I'm gonna add 1½ cup of water. You can add more or less depending upon your type of rice. After 10 minutes, my rice looks like this. So now everything is ready to be served. So now we're ready to assemble the Lamprais. So I'm gonna start by adding a little bit of rice. I'm using banana leaves to serve it. Actually, this is what they do in Sri Lanka. They traditionally steam it in banana leaves. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of chicken curry. I'm gonna add a little bit of everything. The tuna cutlets, the onion relish, the eggplant dish, and we're gonna top everything with the spring onions and the cashews. So my Lamprais is ready. This is how it looks like. It's super delicious, and trust me, it's totally worth it. So now that we are done with this elaborate dish, which in my opinion is totally worth it if you want to give some if you want to bring some authentic Sri Lankan touch into your house, we're gonna get started with the dessert, which is called as Watalappan. Watalappan is a sort of a crème caramel or a custard cream, which contains coconut milk. So it doesn't have milk as the custard cream usually has. So we're gonna add coconut milk and cardamom. We're gonna spice it with some cardamom and some nutmeg, and it's gonna be refined sugar free. So it's super delicious and it's totally worth it, and it's super easy to make. So let's get started. For this recipe, we're gonna need 500 milliliters of hot boiling water, 1 cup of thick coconut milk, 115 grams of dark molasses or jaggery, 2 whole eggs and 1 egg yolk, and 1 teaspoon of cardamom powder and 1/4 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. I'm going to start by mixing the jaggery together with a little bit of hot boiling water until I get a nice and thick paste like this, and we will get rid of all the lumps. Then we're going to incorporate the eggs and mix everything well. Don't whisk it too hard because we don't want any bubbles, just enough to incorporate it. Then I'm going to add the spice powder and finally the coconut milk. Mix everything well, and then we're going to pour them into ramekin cups. So here I have 4 ramekin cups. Apparently 3 were enough. Now I'm going to add them to a tray, baking tray, and I'm going to add the hot boiling water because we're going to steam them. So my puddings are ready. I have chilled them in the fridge for a couple of hours. Now I'm going to show you the section as well. See how creamy and nice they are, and trust me, the taste is awesome. That cardamom gives all the flavor. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed today's video and you enjoyed the recipes as well. See you next time with another episode and with another country. Bye bye.